Hi there, hope you're all doing well. This week I've been painting up Gamharl, the dwarf villain for the current Age of Fantasy quest campaign. I'm going for a similar scheme to the artwork on the campaign cover for this guy. To start off, I primed in black and used hull red as a base coat on the padding and the cape. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Also join Discord using the link in the description, where you can share anything you have been working on, or just hang out and chat. I hope you enjoy the video and find it useful. Started to bring in the mid-tone on the padded clothing now, I went around using burnt red, leaving that darker tone in the recesses. I tried to keep this as scratchy as possible just to get a little bit extra texture into these parts. Finishing the padding off, I mixed in some sunny skin tone and went around the tops of the folds. The reason I'm mixing in some sunny skin tone is I want to get a shared highlight color across the majority of this mini, and this will be that color. Moving back to the cape now, I mixed some bloody red into hull red. And the reason for using this is to cover the majority of the cape again. It's only really the underside and the deepest parts of the folds that get left in that pure hull red. This is then followed up by some pure bloody red across the upper parts of the folds. And being a red paint, it does take a few coats to fully cover, which gives me the opportunity to add some scratchy textures in. Finishing off the cape, I mixed in some sunny skin tone to keep that shared highlight color and bring up the upper parts of the folds and the edges. Now that the red is finished, I can move on to the skin using Barbarian Brawn to start with. This is then followed up by a mid-tone of Dwarven skin. Covering the majority of the skin with this, I just leave that darker tone in the shadows and the deepest recesses for a little extra visual interest. What's really just a small part of this mini. But with the idea of getting some visual interest in, I mixed some sunny skin tone into the Dwarven skin and brought up the raised parts that would be in direct sunlight. This finishes off the face and adds some more depth into those areas. Next up, I move on to the remaining fabric parts that will be black. These all start off with smoke black as the base coat. Normally I would use the black primer. I wanted a little bit more of a brown tint that the smoke black has though. This just helps tie that fabric together with the red parts, keeping them really looking a little bit more coherent. Since I don't really have a good colour to build onto, I mix my own with some deep grey into smoke black, going around a good chunk of these parts again, keeping the shadows darker and the recesses on the hair. And now follow this up with some pure deep grey just over the raised parts and the areas directly in the sun. The hair gets a lot of this treatment in order to add a little bit more differentiation from the clothing. Moving on to the longest part now, all of the metal parts get started with Dragon's Gold. Since he is a Dwarven commander, it makes sense that he's going to have a lot of gold on him, with a few gems that I get done later on. After spending a very long time base coating gold, there was a couple of spots I left out. These parts now get there with a mix of smoke black and dragon's gold, giving that metallic look but albeit a little bit duller, just so these parts still look metallic but they're not pure gold. With the gold a little more broken up, I came in using Scarab red just to dot in the gems. This is a red metallic paint that has the right level of brightness to go with this warmer gold. To finish off the gold parts, I wanted to add a little bit of highlight across a few of the edges. To do this, I mixed some sunny skin tone into dragon's gold and just went across these edges, focusing mostly around the top of the mini, as this is where I want the viewer's eyes to be drawn. And when the mini is on the tabletop, this is the part you see the most. To finish off, I first gave the base a once over with German camo black brown. An unnecessary step, but it is there just in case the texture paste falls off in the future. The actual final step is thin down flesh wash across pretty much every section, but deliberately placed in the recesses. I don't want to stain the flat area too much on this guy. And that will be it for Gamharl. I like how the mini came out, although it's very different to how I envision doing my dwarves in the future once I get around to actually printing them. But I think a small force painted like him for Age of Fantasy Quest is probably doable and would look fine. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. You can also join Discord using the link in the description, where you can share anything you have been hobbying on, or just hang out and chat. For those of you who need to pick up some painting supplies or just some new minis, there are a couple of affiliate links in the description below. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more content. Most importantly though, be kind to each other.